Everybody music. It's an ancient genre and the latest craze. Everybody music. It's a human revolution, not a passing phase. 'Cause everybody is a musical body designed from the ground up to connect. And everyone can be a music gardener. All you got to do is sow seeds of music wherever you go.
Don't forget to water them, huh?
Everybody music. It's awesome. So in 2019, September 8th, I recorded an interview with Seta, who had been a student in my class in the spring of 2017, Prescott College. The class was called Creating Community Through Music. And he introduced me to this idea of like this, the music industrial complex connection to the prison industrial complex. And, you know, I might find myself going into that some other time. But for now, I'm just, I think this is a really interesting interview with a really interesting person who, it feels like a song listening to this interview. It's these lyrics that take me to different places each time. And I feel like I learn things, I think about things. So I'm just going to let Seta speak right now, okay? Enjoy. Okay, so how does this, you're recording 2 songs today, and tell me a little bit about, you know, hip-hop in general, how it, like, relates to what you've been working with at the college, Prescott College.
Okay, at Prescott College, okay, so how is hip-hop tying back to my college? So, I've been studying cultural and regional studies, which is like sociology, humanities, and anthropology. Hip-hop itself, it's a symbolism of unity among black and brown people, between blacks, Apaches, Puerto Ricans, people from my tribe, Jamaicans that all lived in, I'll particularly say the Bronx, particularly the west side. The west side of the Bronx is where it started at, but particularly the west and south Bronx. And itself, it just shows us like hope, you know, that there was change. It gave us a voice. It gave us like, it let us know that we weren't going to continually be suppressed through our community. Hip hop itself, it started right after the big gang meeting that took place on Hoe Avenue around December 1971 with the Ghetto Brothers. They were one of the biggest and baddest gangs in New York City. They were also televised. You can look them up. They had interviews. They were constantly on the TV. And they teamed up with the National Puerto Rican Liberation Party. They teamed up with them, and they were really for the community. Even though they were one of the biggest and baddest gangs, they were like, hold up, we can use these numbers for something else. You know, we can improve our community. And after the big meeting happened, by the way, the Warriors is based off of that meeting that took place on Hoe Avenue. They gathered all the gangs in New York City. They used 7 delegates, and they formed one of the biggest truces. And afterwards, there was more unity throughout New York City among black and brown people, among like Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, Apaches, like, you know, just all of that. And shout out to the Black Spades, 7 Immortals, and the Savage Nomads. Those 3 gangs, they came together and they formed the United Zulu Nation. I kicked it with one of the Black Spades back in St. Mary's Park. And yeah, together, those 3 gangs, you know, they were of different ethnicities. They came together and they formulated hip-hop. You know, DJ Kool Herc, you know, he started the whole drum loop, you know, the funky drummer loop. He took that from James Brown. You know, his people were dancing to it. And he created a series of loops after that. And afterwards, people started doing call and response because they're like, all right, we can DJ, but we need crowd interaction. We need that engagement from the crowd. That's how we're going to rock this whole thing. So, you know, after that, people just started emceeing. You know, they were like, you know, a lot of people, they took some of their roots. You know, subconsciously, you're going to take your roots that you've been practicing for thousands of years, and you're going to implement that while you're performing. So that led to, you know, emceeing. People doing, some people say it was poetry. I just feel like, no, people was just like, you know, saying a few words, letting the crowd say it. And then somebody's like, hold up, let me see if I can do this longer. So, you know, you got 4 bars. Then you're like 8 bars, 12 bars. Now everybody got 16s. So, you know, that's and that comes from our culture. You know, if you ever go down to the Yavapai Apache Nation Exodus, you listen. I'm not going to say. I mean, I can't, reiterate what they say, but if you check it out, you see some of the roots of hip hop from that. You know, if you listen to some of the chatting that they do in Jamaica, you listen to some of the traditional ceremonies for like the Arawak and the Tainos in the St. Elizabeth Parish of Jamaica. You listen to that, you see the indigenous roots from Jamaica of the Arawak that's implemented within hip hop. If you listen to the Rastafarians, how they chat with the brethren and stuff, and you listen to that, you're like, okay, I see where the roots come from. And through hip hop, our culture is surviving through that. It's just I guess you could say it's a melting pot of like our cultures coming together, and just making magic. And also, by the way, there's a 4/4 rhythm in hip hop. A lot of people don't know the 4/4 rhythm comes from indigenous people in the Americas. It can't be found anywhere else.
Where which 4/4 rhythm?
The 4/4 rhythm. Doom 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 doom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That particular one. Boom, bop, boom,
The boom. It's a 4/4 rhythm though. That comes from the Americas because that's a replication of the heartbeat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's another thing a lot of people don't know about.
Okay.
And I mean, I can go on and on about this.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, I just figure why not, until Lucy gets here, maybe,
Yeah.
or we'll set some stuff up. But can you just identify yourself and your name for this and
Okay.
and you're a student at Prescott College, right?
Yeah, but I'm currently taking a leave of absence.
Right.
Getting
Okay.
myself together right now.
But we're talking. How are you going now? Because
As
your
far-
name, like every time I talk to you, it's a different name.
No, it's the same name. I've been my artist name has always been Seta since I was 16. It's never changed. Like you can look up on SoundCloud, you can see it all the way back to 2013. I've always used Seta.
Seta.
Yeah, Seta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which means arrow.
Which means arrow. The reason why I chose Seta because when anybody that's listened to my music, the first style I used was favela funk, which is from Brazil. I incorporated that a lot. A reason why I use that, being black and native, there's a lot of people there of that same mix that created a whole new genre in Brazil. And I related to it because I grew up in the hood, also grew up in the city reses, I grew up in the barrios. Not that different from the favelas, from those type of neighborhoods. It's not that different. So there was a producer by the name of Sango. A lot of people know Sango. Bryson Tiller knows him. Tina Shea? She knows him. And he took that sound from Brazil and he started flipping it with trap music. So it just created a whole new sound. And I might go back to it, I might not. But that was like my original sound. And so I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to be using these beats from the favela, I might as well use a favela name. That's what I felt. And then I looked up in Portuguese. I just, I'm looking through the Portuguese language. I'm like learning some of the words and stuff because I'm listening to it. I might as well learn it. And then I was like, well, my tribal name means arrow. My tribal name is Arrow. And like, that's what the homies call me.
What tribal name, like particularly, tell us a little bit about that. Your tribal background.
Okay, so it depends on like what clan you come from or like, there's certain things that you go through. If you come from, I guess you could say like I don't want to, because I'm not definitely not a warrior. I'm like an ambusher. That's what type of training I went through. If you go through a particular training and whatnot, after you're done, based on the traits of your spirit, or like, just based on the traits of your spirit, and even sometimes on the day and the alignment of the Venus calendar, they determine your name from that. So your name should always be a reflection of who you truly are, your spirit. So Arrow just, it puts it up in one. A protector, that's mainly what it means, like a protector and someone that's like of direction. So that's
okay. So where were you brought up then?
Oh man, I lived in multiple places. You can't say one place.
Yeah.
So you asking where I'm from?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a hard question, man. It's a hard question. So
which nation do you identify with native?
Oh, Aniowia.
Aniowia.
Aniglito Ganahita is the clan.
Ah.
Yeah. Aniowia. Aniglito Ganahita is the clan. Daguado Gatlida. Yeah.
What part of the country is that?
Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
North Carolina. I mean, we all over. We in cities too. It's hard to just be like. I know we're definitely in the Appalachian Mountains. There's a reserve over there. Oklahoma. I got a bunch of family out there in Muskogee and Tulsa and stuff. And we're even down in Mexico too. Mexico is known as, I've been doing research and like just looking more and more. That's like the motherland I'm finding out. And Sequoia, when he was finished writing the language, his goal was to go back to Mexico to like, get it to the rest of us from our tribe. And I just, I got a visit down there in Coahuila. But we're all over. It's hard to put us in one box. We travel, man.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
migrants,
no,
man.
you can't put you in a box. I can't anyway. Some people try. So I wanted to ask you, you're doing these 2 songs today.
Yeah.
Right? And so these songs reflect something for you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
But can you tell us, and also because I think, I'm doing this podcast.
Yeah.
It's about building bridges.
Definitely.
And I come from a musical background, and so I always try to bring a little music in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and considering you're doing these songs and you've been talking about music, can you see these songs as bridge builders in some kind of way?
Hell yeah. So the one song I'm working on with Lucy, I've been dying to work with Lucy. It's been literally, it's about to be 2 years since we were supposed to record this song. But, things happen, life happens or whatever. But this song is called Never Spoil. I have a version without Lucy because I did it myself. Because, like, it's like, you're always waiting for a collab, but you're like, all right, well, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to fill it. But now I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to just erase that hook. Let's get you on the hook and then, like, officially release it. But the song Never Spoil is just, like, it's showing more restorative love for, like, particularly indigenous and Polynesian women because I just feel like there isn't any type of restorative love. A lot of people, they look at them as,
Come in.
for tokens and stuff like that.
Oh,
And she paused it.
Hello. Hey, what's up?
okay, we're just finishing a little conversation here.
Okay, cool. Never been in here.
So you must be Lucy.
I am.
Hi, I'm Jonathan.
Nice to meet you, Jonathan.
Good to meet you. Okay.
We did a little work at hair, but not an official meeting. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So different contexts.
Yeah.
Everyone looks different.
Yeah.
So we're just finishing up. We're doing a little interview here.
Okay.
So we're just going to wrap up about these songs and
Okay.
like what they mean to you in terms of musical bridge building.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. We was talking
Yeah,
about the last song.
you were-
Okay. So Never Spoil, that song. So back to what I was talking about. It's mainly talking about like indigenous and Polynesian women, mainly Native and Polynesian women. It's obvious. My verse is clear as daylight. It's talking about love and sex, hella clear as day. But in that sense, I'm not like degrading women. I'm not being derogatory about it. I'm trying to go against like what I'm seeing on the top 10 in the Billboard charts. And at the same time, I come from a community where MMIW is like that's an everyday thing. Missing, murdered indigenous women. Like it's every year it does it. It's I have to prepare myself to know 2 or 3 of my homegirls are going to might end up in China, one might end up in Vancouver, one might end up in San Francisco, one might end up in San Diego. The thing about those places, a lot of girls get trafficked from there. They end up in China from there. They end up in Australia or wherever. And that's a thing, and that's just a reality for me. And I literally save up money aside in case they give me that call, like, hey, I'm here. Can you get me out? Somebody left me here. I always prepare myself for that. So, and a lot of like, I will speak out. There's a lot of men from like both, I got Samoan homies and Tongan homies. Not really homies, but I would say friends, acquaintances that like, they degrade them. They speak in derogatory, they look at them as just tokens. They don't look at the women as like, they don't recognize the roots where they came from. Like we both need each other. We just can't look at somebody like, use them how the fuck you want to, basically. And just trying to show more love, show more sympathy for one another. I listen to music nowadays and nobody's really talking about love at all. That's kind of sad. When I was growing up, there was a bunch of, I know in my generation, was a bunch of R&B songs talking about love. People were thinking about relationships or something. And, I ain't saying relationships is everything, but, if you're not talking about love or anything, how you going to even work on self-love or self-care? That's just something to think about. As you make a song about that and you show it to other people, it starts up a new conversation. It starts up a new idea, a new paradigm, hopefully, So that's from the song Never Spoil. I Need Your Lovin', same thing, basically.
So that's what you're about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
somewhat. I mean, I got other topics and stuff, but like that's the message I'm trying to get through. those
Well,
two
love,
songs.
love seems to be predominant.
Yeah.
Seems to be a big deal for you.
Oh, definitely.
So,
Because in our communities, there's really no love.
right. And considering that music is love to
Yeah.
me,
Oh, definitely.
so like it seems ridiculous that songs aren't about love when that's what it is. So you're, I like to keep that perspective when I go into a recording situation. I like to kind of bring that in. See,
Okay.
is that what we're bringing in?
Are we bringing in love?
Yeah.
Me working on music is self-love, so it's
Right.
all love.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you. So I appreciate that. And
Anytime.
let's.
I mean,
let's
you might
get
have to
down.
edit out the curse words or something, but
No,
unless you want
no,
to keep,
I didn't
keep
hear
it
any
real.
curse words.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right, for sure, yeah.
Okay. Thanks.